This video is sponsored by DisabilityQuotes.com. They have been helping residents and also practicing physicians find the right type of disability insurance for the past 20 years. This is a type of insurance that ensures that your income continues in the event that you cannot continue practicing medicine. It's important. So important that I personally have disability insurance. Click on the link below in the description for a free quote from them today. What's up, everyone? This is Dr. Webb here. Thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe. New videos coming every week. You don't want to miss these videos. Today, I have a very special guest. She's going to tell us all about the field of CRNA, as well as why she went into it and some tips for everyone out there. I'd like to welcome Monique. Thank you for joining me today. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, good. Go ahead and tell the people who you are and kind of what you do.
My name is Monique Banks. I am a certified registered nurse anesthetist. I've been a registered nurse for about 11 years, and I've been a CRNA, which is short for certified registered nurse anesthetist, for a little over 2 years.
Awesome. For the people who don't know what a CRNA is, can you briefly explain what that is?
In short, a CRNA is an anesthesia provider. We are mastered and doctorate level educated professionals. All of us have been registered nurses, and we have had some experience in ICU. We've also gone through a lot of rigorous training and very rigorous education to get to this point. We can do anything in anesthesia that an anesthesiologist can do. In some states, we practice independently, and it's a great field.
Okay. And tell us about the schooling that's required. I know you mentioned that you have to be a registered nurse prior and you have to have some sort of ICU experience. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so you have to have a 4-year degree as a nurse. And then what is the process after that?
Okay, so the first step to becoming a CRNA is to obtain your bachelor's in science or a bachelor's in nursing, or a bachelor's of science in nursing. It has to be a 4-year nursing degree, right? And then you go into nursing practice. You should have about, some schools require 1 year, but by the time you start the program, you will have had 2 years of nursing experience in the ICU.
Okay.
You also will have had to take the GRE and obtain a competitive score. Also, most schools require that you have the CCRN certification, which is a certification for ICU nurses. Mm-hmm. It just kind of verifies that you really know what you're doing and you really are very competent as an ICU nurse. And you're just used to thinking with that higher level of thinking that it takes to critically think in the ICU. Mm-hmm. After that, what else is required? And obtain a competitive GPA in the nursing program. Gotcha. All of those factors are important, and by the time you've been admitted into the program, along with your admission interview, you will have completed all of those things successfully.
Okay, and I understand that it's pretty competitive to get into CRNA school. What kind of things do they look for? I know you mentioned GPA. You have to have letters of recommendation as well.
Yes. So yeah, they want you to have a competitive GPA. They want you to have a competitive GRE score. Mm-hmm. They also would like for you to have taken a CCRN and to have that ICU experience. And the last thing is your interview. Now, those 5 things that I listed, those are requirements for most anesthesia schools, right? But let's say if you don't have a really high GPA, or if you didn't do so well on the GRE, you really want to just look at all 5 factors and be strong in one or the other, or maybe 4 out of 5, be strong in that. I think if you have the opportunity to get an interview, the interview is very, very important. You really should go in there really knowing what you're talking about. And I have a lot of students who reach out to me whenever they've gotten an interview, and my best advice to them is to pick out 3 things that you're really good at. I say things that that you're used to doing in the ICU specialty that you work in, and just get really knowledgeable of those 3 comorbidities. I think for mine, I got really strong knowledge in sepsis, and I knew it down to the cellular level. So I was able to answer all of the questions that they threw at me at the interview, and I got admitted on the spot. And I was told not to even announce that I was admitted because several students would not know until 2 weeks later. So, yeah.
Awesome. And can you describe a typical day for you? It kind of starts at what time and ends at what time? Do you work shift work, or you're on call a lot? Tell us about that.
Well, that's one of the wonderful things about CRNA is the work-life balance is just awesome. If you don't mind getting up early in the morning, then it's a wonderful career for you. Most jobs would be 7 to 3, Monday through Friday. And you actually can take your pick right out of school, whether you want to take call or not. I've been doing this for over 2 years, and I haven't had a job where I had to take call at all before. So it's really up to you. So getting to work in the morning, I would get there about 20 minutes before my case, make sure I have I would check my assignments and make sure I have my machine checked. I'd also go and see my patient, interview my patient, find out about health history, and I would go to my room and put together my anesthesia plan for my patient and discuss that with the anesthesiologist. Depending on what type of job you work at, sometimes you can do this whole thing independently by yourself without having an anesthesiologist, but my particular job, I do work with an anesthesiologist.
Okay. And what, after you graduate from CRNA school, is that a master's degree or you said a doctorate degree? Can you talk about that a little bit?
So some schools are master levels and some schools are doctorate level.
Okay.
And the program that I went through is a master level program, but I'm just starting a doctorate level program here actually next month. As far as the difference, you will not expect a difference in pay, whether you have a master's or a doctorate. Really? So it's all about what your goal is. If you want to work in the OR and that's what you want to do, then it's just up to you whether you want to have a doctorate or not. It's definitely not required.
And does that allow you to operate more independently if you have your doctorate, or?
Not at all. It won't affect your practice. It won't affect your salary. I mean, it really is kind of like a personal preference.
And can you speak about the relationship between MD anesthesiologists and CRNAs? I understand that there's certain things that the anesthesiologists can do, and then they allow the CRNAs to do. Speak about that relationship.
Okay, that's a very, I would say it's kind of a controversial topic. There are many places where the CRNAs and anesthesiologists, in most places, they work harmonious together. I have a very good dynamic where I work, and we work very closely together, and we don't have any issues. But there is a big, I should say, political argument on whether or not CRNA should continue to practice anesthesia independently or not. At this time, there are certain states in the United States where CRNAs do practice independently, and some states they do not. So the big argument is, if they can practice in this state independently, why can't we practice in these desirable states more independently? But a CRNA's full range of practice, we can do everything as far as we do regional anesthesia, like epidurals, blocks, general anesthesia, MAC. We can do those things independently. It really just depends on what the state law requires us to be, whether they allow us to practice independently or require us to work with the anesthesiologist.
Okay. And there's also anesthesia assistants, AAs, is that?
Yes, anesthesia assistant is a career. I don't want to speak a whole lot about them because I'm not one and I don't want to misspeak. But that is a career that has been birthed from the anesthesiologist career. I mean, the anesthesiologist positions. And they sort of want to, I mean, I guess they can, that's their version of mid-level anesthesia providers. So both of us are mid-level anesthesia providers. The difference between an anesthesiology assistant and a CRNA is we've gone through, we all have been nurses, work at the bedside. We have hospital experience. We have ICU experience. That means in the operating room, when things are look like they're going bad, we have the experience to fix it. Gotcha. We've actually done it. An anesthesiology assistant, the first day that they start anesthesia assistant school, most of them have never worked or in the OR, in the hospital, have no experience with
so they're not required to go to nursing school prior.
No, or to be a nurse, or
Okay.
to work as a nurse, or to fix critical problems in nursing with very sick patients. They don't have experience.
What do you enjoy most about being a CRNA?
I love my schedule. I love my colleagues. Most of my colleagues that I work with, we all are, high-level professionals, and I work with anesthesia assistants as well. I have, they're very intelligent as well. We all high-level professionals, and we just enjoy the environment. I mean, it's a fast-paced environment. I love doing what I can to help the surgery process move more efficiently. I just love jumping in there and just helping out and helping things go efficiently. Time is of the essence in the operating room, as you know, and I just love being a very good asset to the environment and helping things go smoothly and quickly.
Okay. And after you graduate from CRNA school, and I know it varies by location, practice type, but how much can one expect to make as a CRNA once you graduate?
Let's see, in the most desirable areas to live, you're going to make less, of course.
Yeah.
I came to a city like Houston, Texas, and I was very intentional in looking in searching for my first job. And my first job salary was like 147 with very good benefits, 147,000 with very good benefits. But I know some of my colleagues who went to work in some of the less desirable areas of the country, they had salaries over 200,000, like 250,000. So.
Gotcha. So it is a career that you can have a family, have kids, have a.
Yes, it is. It depends on if you want to take call. It depends on if you want to, move to less desirable areas of the country. It's just up to you. It definitely is a career where you, if you want to have family, if you want to have like a really good schedule, you're not going to get the $250,000 salary job. Okay. But there's a balance. You just have to find your balance. Like, $150,000 is a very good salary to make for a mother and
Absolutely.
a wife.
Yeah. What advice would you have to students who are interested in becoming a CRNA or just in general? What advice would you give out?
The first thing that I would want to give, the first advice I just want to give is, but they can give you some insight, and that's what you want. The other thing, I just, look at the different programs that you're interested in. Look at their admission requirements like way early, so that you can pattern your goals and your next steps after what they want. You can know how important the GRE score is, wait long before you start studying for it. And pick up the phone. A lot of the anesthesia programs will have someone who can answer questions and just kind of help you along the way, and that's it. I just, whatever you do, you have to be focused. Be prepared to eliminate your social life because you will not have time for one. If you try to keep one, then bless your heart because it probably won't turn out well.
But it'll pay off in the end once you're done.
Yeah, it'll pay off in the end, and you'll be able to get your social life back. Your friends will still be there, I promise you.
Gotcha. Well, Monique, thank you so much for that, and for all the your advice. That's really helpful. I ask my guests 3 last questions. You can give like a 1 or 2 word answer. What is your favorite thing to do outside of medicine?
Oh, I go to church.
Go to church. Okay. Awesome.
I'm a single mom. I go to church, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your favorite food?
My favorite food is gumbo. I'm from
Gumbo.
Louisiana, so
Okay.
I love
Hello,
a
Louisiana.
good gumbo, and I love Louisiana gumbo.
Got you. And do you have a particular favorite surgery or specialty like you like working with in the operating room? And the orthopods are the coolest,
I
right?
know this is gonna sound so undesirable, but I love endoscopy.
Endoscopy?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's really fast. We do like you can some places will do up to like in an 8-hour period, like 17, 18 cases.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really fast paced. You know, I mean, it's quick. You have a short period of time to assess your patient, short period of time to put them to sleep, to wake them up. And yeah, I like the fast pace of the endoscopy.
And for people who don't know what that is, endoscopy, can you explain what that is?
Endoscopy is a part of the hospital where they um, do colonoscopies and EGDs, and that's when they go down with the scope and they're looking on the screen and they're looking for when they go from the back end, they're looking with the colonoscopies, they're looking for colon cancer, and when they're doing the EGDs, they're looking for different types of abnormalities in the GI system. So.
Okay. Awesome. Well, Monique, thank you so much for joining me today, and it's been a highly requested specialty.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, inspiring others out there who may potentially want to go into that field or just go into medicine in general. So I want to thank you for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I enjoyed it. I hope I was very informative for anyone who's interested in becoming a CRNA.
Absolutely. And if anybody wants to contact you, are you on social media? Any way they
Yes,
can get in touch with you?
you can inbox me on Facebook, Monique Banks, or you can send me a message on Instagram, CRNA underscore by underscore day. It's CRNA underscore BY underscore DAY.
Okay. And I'll put the links to all of those in the description. Thank you so much, Monique, and thank you for coming on today.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. And everyone else, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe. New videos coming every week. You don't want to miss these videos. We'll see you next time.